Alright, how you doing? This is the music. I'm gonna put no comments because I don't want nobody interrupting my comment. Alright, a lot of people are upset with Malcolm Flacka fame saying he's not black and that he's Native American. And a lot of people will say, well, look at his hair and his features. Well, of course he's not 100% black. Also, look at his skin tone. He don't like Akon. And I keep it real on my channel. But I do agree and disagree. First off, the real reason why he said that he was not black and American, a lot of folks not know the term black was invented by white people. No African in Africa went around and said, I'm black. They had Igbo, Yoruba, Fulani, all the Zulu. That was their identity. They become Negro, which is Spanish and Portuguese word for black, during slavery. And then in the United States, they use the derogatory term nigger. Okay, so a lot of people do not know their heritage and history where it comes from. But remember, over the years there was mixing, and a lot of us or African Americans saying that's why on my channel I advocate this education because truth sets you free. That we're not a full blown African people. We are mixed. And people with the cop cars over. Okay, what I wish I wear the cop in that shirt if you want the cop to stop you over and do what happened to Sandra, even though the man was Hispanic. But the other instance with Darren Wilson and everything else. If you don't want to wear want that continue, you don't wear a cap in that shirt and don't be in the and do all the protests and stuff. Okay. The truth of the matter, I say is because if you are to fight oppression, you cannot go along with it. Okay. So the point is that he is right. He is not pure black. He's lighter than me. But the truth of the matter is, he is part black. And I'm going to let folks know that a lot of folks don't understand where this idea comes from. See, that is true. The continent of the United States, southern United States, Mexico, Central America, and part of South America was connected to Africa. Okay? No joke. Why do you think all the continents are separated? That's why we have earthquakes. They said the next big earthquake in California can be in Hawaii. Okay, meaning from California you'll be shipped out to Hawaii by the earth breaking up. Okay, that's why the continents are broken up. They could be true that Native Americans, besides coming from Asia, from Alaska, the Russian part of Asia to Alaska, also could have called Mexico. They could be. I say yes and no. Because when Columbus came, yeah, they were darker skinned people compared to white people, but their hair was not kinky. And yes, everybody came out of Africa, but remember, everybody went up from Northern Africa and left and went to other parts, which why a human race looked different to the mutation of the climates of the area. Meaning that wherever you were, you look the way you are because of that to the environment, not environment on cultural level, environment on the climate level. If you are from Europe, you're gonna have pale skin. If you're from Africa, you'll be darker than me. But you have kinky hair, big lips, like I do, and wide nose. If you are from Asia, which a lot of Native Americans did come out of Asia from the so-called Orient people, you're gonna have almost shaped eyes because the dust will protect you from the eyes. I mean the eyelids will protect you from dust. Excuse me, and you're gonna be less hairy because Native Americans and Asians originally did not move a lot. The reason why people are hairy because their people moved a lot. That means, and also it keeps them from being cold like in Europe. Yes, in Africa, there's not too many hairy people, but a lot of people still shocked that I don't have hairy legs. So what they say, I look black to people. So why would people question that? Because it comes from the Native American side of me. So shut up. Anyway, point is, and I'm not, and y'all see my chest, I have no hair. Okay. So anyway, let's get to the yeah. A lot of women tell me, "Oh, you got some beautiful legs." Every time I wear my shorts, especially when I wear my shorts and sandals, oh, you got nice feet as well. But it's yeah, they say yeah, you know, oh, you got some women. We tell, oh, I wish I had legs like you. Oh, you got some pretty legs. Okay. All right, yeah. I'm gonna start getting some dates. If I start showing more of my leg, if it wasn't cold today here in Houston, I probably still wear my shorts like I wore yesterday. Anyway, before this, so. It's like, yeah, I used not like wear shorts. I had uneven skin. I had scars all over, but I got red as I got older. So my legs are very even and very smooth and they're very naturally smooth. Even when I was 13, 14 years old, I would be teased for not having hairy legs. And they say you must shave your legs, and I don't shave my legs. That's just naturally like that. and I found out it's the Native American side of me. Okay, the truth of the matter is, a lot of us are part Native American. What people are getting upset because there's a lot. It's a cult which I don't. It's like the another version of Nation Islam, Ku Klux Klan, with tan, called the Hebrew Israelites. A lot of Hebrew Israelites feel that since Africa was given the name by white men due to the Roman Empire, that should not be called the name of people of black heritage. It should be called Israelite because it is very true. The first Jews were black. But like I say, just like America, we should denounce America and all the other part of these names. So the truth of the matter is, a lot of people, a lot of the Hebrew Israelites are coming out and saying they're not African, they're a Hebrew Israelite. I met one recently. I don't know why y'all come after me. First, they want to call me out my name, call me a faggot, and I never had sex with dude. Next thing y'all want me to join the cult, and I'm not joining it. But the important is, I met one of the 19 knew he was. He had long, he was dark skin with long dreads. And he said, "What you put on the paper?" So I got defensive because about my personality. I said, I checked others. I put on my driver's license recently, and I checked black, white, Native American. I just found I had Hispanic origin on Creole side, so I checked it too. And he said, "Well, I don't just check. I checked this other." I said, "Oh, thank God." And I found out that 19 he was Hebrew. He's like, a lot of do not want. They feel the white man's the devil, and all the different colors of people, whether it be the Asian, the Hispanic, the African, the Native American, are all tribes of Israel. That's their own interpretation of scripture that I don't believe in. But they feel, since there was a book called The People Before Columbus, that's what a lot of people are referring to. So what got this big old mess going on that people of African descent, who also are mixed but seem to be African based on how dark or light they are, whatever, what is causing people to call themselves Native American all of a sudden? Well, a man who found out on a limited DNA test, because if I bet he went to another one, it would not be 50-50. It looked just like me. Because I don't question people say I don't look mixed. Well, I don't like West is nice, but Henry Gates Jr. is 50-50, 50% white, 50% black, and we both have kinky hair and caramel complexion, not dark chocolate complexion. Then I guess I'm mixed up too, which I do. I consider myself mixed, but according to y'all, I'm not mixed. But his DNA test is 50-50. But Condoleezza Rice is even out too. She has a lot of European according to her DNA test. And it did include Native American, Condoleezza Rice. I saw that on okay. And she my skin tone with my natural heritage. We both got relaxing right here. So why y'all saying this? Okay. Back in the mid-2000s, there was African American Lives, which is, it should be called African American Lives, because they did not tell the people on their show that DNA tests do not reveal everything. It goes to like 8 or 16 generations. It doesn't go to all the way to Adam and Eve. Because I feel like they don't spend all that money. You better go all the way to Adam and Eve up to now. Okay, I ain't gonna have no limited resource. And you better let me know. So a lot of DNA comes through Answer.com. African Answer 23andMe don't tell you that it's limited to small portion of your roots, not the majority of your roots. So a lot of y'all don't know that back in 2000s, and this way before, when they started saying that we were not Native American, I had to laugh, because 2004, 5 was 2004 and 5, they were saying that. Okay, well, on mixedrace.com, I used to be on that site and used to advertise Native American DNA testing on their site. And guess who called the company when I was 23 years? Yes, I said 23 years old, and the woman told me straight up that you don't always reveal your tests. The same year here in Harris County HPD, Houston Police Department, revealed that DNA tests was wrong. A lot of innocent people, including sex cases, and murder cases, were put in jail, and the people who were the perpetrator was out there because of this mistake. So they had to retract that DNA test of criminal trials and stuff, and let people out. Even one brother felt sorry for, because he was innocent of rape and still couldn't get a job because they had removed it from his record. Also, too, there was a man named Wayne Joseph. He was Creole. And Wayne Joseph, lighter than I am, with loose curly hair, had a war afro and everything. Went on his DNA results and found he was 0% African. He lived in segregation time, sitting in the back of the bus in Louisiana, in Texas, and also I don't know if he lived in Texas, but in California, and wore the afro and everything. Lived as a black man, even though he knew he had mixed heritage, but still was 0% African. DNA tests says some true, but not all true. Now, why I'm bringing this up? They said that they were no Native American and the 10 term was 1%. Well, it still says she's 1%. It says 0%, so that means she is part Native American. Okay, all these years she said Navajo and Blackfoot. I mean, not Navajo and Cherokee in her. You can also see in her features. Well, a lot of folks should know that. How I know, I found out that Answer.com, I mean, not Answer.com, AfricanAnswer.com, excuse me, in 10 years ago had got in heat of trouble along with the other DNA test companies. There was the white lady from, I don't know her name, we refer as a white lady. She was from 60 Minutes and came in 2007 and revealed, and their brother, who's darker than me, who's dark skinned with white, your DNA in him, he's mixed, from AfricanAnswer.com, admit their small portion of roots. And to that white man, a law enforcement said that it don't tell you everything. Yes, and reveal their secret out. So I know that DNA tests were a hoax. Not always the truth, sometimes the truth and sometimes not. Now, of course, I mentioned about George Lopez DNA test, which it matched history because the third race of Mexico is African and they were a mixture. I would not be living in Texas. It wasn't for anti-slavery law that Sam Houston, Fannin, and Clay, and Dow, and all these other white Anglos from the South who illegally immigrated to Texas would not be Texas. It wasn't for anti-slavery law that cost the Alamo. That was written by Vicente Guerrero, who was part black, Spanish, and Native American, the second president of Mexico. So it does match its oral history along with the history that was been hidden from the American school system, especially here in Texas. Okay? So, see, a lot of folks understand when you're doing research, you gotta match oral history and documents to see what's here and there. That's the difference. See, me, I don't just go one base. I match it with oral history because old people don't be lying. They might have been miseducation, but also too the white people who had power at the time also falsely educated people, aka uneducated people, based on it to keep you from records for who you are. So a lot of people understand. Listen to the song from Janet Jackson, New Agenda, with Chuck D from what's the group, Public Enemy. History hidden from me to hide my identity, so I never feel I'm somebody. Now, why do you think I do research on my ancestry? Okay. A lot of people understand that white racist people, so let me specify, do not want you to know that. See, the reason I bring that there was mess up, because in Jessica Alba, she played a light-skinned sister, a black identified sister in the movie Honey, okay? Everybody knows Jessica Alba's part white on her mother's side, part Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, aka Afro-Mestizo on her dad's side. See, she has one chromosome as a white man on that article of the 60 Minutes 10 years ago, when the white lady revealed, shut this stuff up. Yeah, please stop inboxing me, please. I'm trying to do a video. No disturb, please. Okay, let's get to the subject. So, truth of the matter is, a lot of people don't know that they said on Lopez tonight that she was mostly white and less native, no black or Asian, and there was a lot. On PBS with Henry Gates Jr., okay, who lied a lot, okay, who tells some truth, but also lie. They found on her chart there was African DNA in her. And I knew that because she had big lips and wide nose. I knew that the African didn't come from Mexico because I read history. So I matched what's true and matched what was told. And then if it contradicts, you have to backtrack it, troubleshoot it, and find the reason why it's contradicting it. A lot of folks don't use their damn brain. I do. Okay. So, why is Waka Flacka saying he's Native American? Because when the DNA testing community lied and said we didn't have no Native American DNA in us, it's less, when it's untrue. There are books that reveal that it's very true that we do. Is that there was a thing called the $5 Indian. See, a lot of us don't understand. The civilized tribe, yes, they did. The civilized tribe was called civilized because they was with slavery with white people. But also, even though there was mixed race Native Americans who are part white and part Native biracially, and Native Americans who was being apples, you know what I mean, like coons, you know, white on inside, red on outside, was trying to be part of slavery. There were also tribes that did partake in slavery in order to free slaves from their white master. A lot of us don't take that history. So when the civilized tribe got mistreated by Andrew Jackson white men, there was black mixed race people and their partners who are also talking about the parents of the mixed race children who are pure black who was with them in the Trail of Tears. They were free people. Okay? They also dealt with that mess in the Trail of Tears and went to Oklahoma, which was why the black Seminoles, when they left Florida, went to Oklahoma. The white Chickasaw, part white Chickasaw, the American biracial slave owners who used to be slave owners in the Chickasaw tribe were trying to slave them in Oklahoma, since Oklahoma had no resource to the United States. Okay, it was our own country. It's called Indian Territory. A lot of folks know that a lot of black and Native Americans came together for one reason, one common reason, because it was being oppressed by white supremacy. The Native Americans being killed off first. It was supposed to be slaved by white people, but they resisted in their own land on their Native American ancestors. So they had diseases. They couldn't deal with diseases. The Europeans, so the Europeans who were slave traders had to go to Africa. And yes, those Africans tried slaving each other. That's why a lot of people do not want to refer to Africa. Let me explain the reason why that I get upset when people try to, yeah, well, you African, yeah. I'm going to tell you the reason why later on. But let's get to the subject. So what happened is, when the black and Native people saw they were being oppressed by white people, and one time white people used against one another, like a black and brown situation, they used black and red against against another, they had to realize they couldn't fight each other, they had to come together. So they mixed and came and tried, and white people with their white racist classism shit didn't like the fact that a mixed race black Native American was not their slave. They also had more freedom than the slaves they held on the plantation. They had a different way of living. See, one thing that I noticed about white racist people, whether it be in the closet about their racism or open, they don't like to see African Americans, since they are ancestors who are slaves or who are African descent, having freedom going beyond what they expect. They think they're God. They think they should be worshipped as God, and they think that you should go along with, even try to distort the Bible. And you even have African American people copycat their attitudes, try to teach you the Bible without laughing in their face because they're a bunch of hypocrites. Hold that subject. So why I said that there are people resent, and I sometimes kind of agree. See, a lot of folks get mad at us who are African American descent mixed with white Native American that we don't want anything to do with Africa. I was telling my homegirl who's dark skinned, who's also part Cherokee, that it is not our fault. See, I'm glad about the white people before they came to Africa, they was already slaves. A lot of Africans come to this country, especially Nigerians, try to get mad about us not being there in their culture, but that's not our fault. See, like I was telling the sister yesterday, if they were so concerned about us reconnecting with Africa, then why the hell they took money from white people for another tribe they didn't like, gave them that tribe, gave them money, gave the slaves from another tribe, and then got money. I don't want no Crips, no Klan, no blood come in. It's like the Bloods and Crips fighting each other, and the blood wins, so they slave the Crip. Ku Klux Klan come in, give them money, and they give a Crip off. No offense, Crip, I'm using an example as a two. So because like tribes, two different gangs, okay? The white racist tribe come in, group come in, make some profit out of it. That's why. So, well, no offense to anybody of those gangs, I don't like the Klan, but the Crips, I don't want to come out, I'm just using an example, okay? The truth of the matter is that if African people truly cared about at the time, they would not never participate in the slave trade. Actually, they never slaved anybody else. So when they come to this country, you know, like the fact that we don't buy into their culture and we don't know about the Africa, this and that, it is not our fault. See, they only care about was the money. So when they sold our African ancestors, they didn't care about the rapes, the murders, the killings, the slavery, and all that other stuff. All they care about being greedy with their money. So when they come and see us and they call our ad to us, we try to, because me, like myself, try to be friends with the African people. We ain't trying to start no shit with them. Here in Houston, many evil try to not like us. And then my question is, why the hell are you here? Okay? So if you don't like the fact that I'm not African in culture, You should tell your ancestors that. You go to the great side of your ancestors who participated, the kings and queens who participate in the slave trade, and tell them what you feel, because it had nothing to do with me. When they send my African ancestor on a ship, and with my white ancestor, because later on in history they became my white ancestor, and the American race later on came mixed up. When we mix these different ethnicities, it is not our fault. Cry me a river. Didn't St. Paul say in the Bible that the love of money is the root of all evil? So I see why now you're crying, because of love of money. Because all they care about was the gold, diamond, whatever they was giving those Africans, the white people was giving to see our African ancestors on the ship. That was their fault. And I did say that. It was the white people who participated in this shit, and also it was the Africans who participated in that mess. And I'm glad in the movie Roots, you see people, African saying, kicking them folks out because they didn't want them there. So when you kick those people out and put them on the ship, we lost all Africa in us. So, and when he got mixed up later on, they should have thought about that before they took any type of money from white people. Not my problem. Anyway, so let's get to the subject. So now you want to know why we don't. So I hope that those who understand that they got rid of all the Africans. So when African ancestors came in here to Americas, they changed their whole identity, their names. There was no Shaquisha. That's not even an African name. None of that stuff. So then we start mixing. Our African ancestors start mixing with other races. Yeah, but then the reason why they allow us to get offended when those who are misidentified like myself get offended when people try to say we're pure black. See, the white men, they like the fact that a black, because during service who are white, when they hit the Baker Rebellion, my long distance white cousin, okay, do my white grandma's side, Nathaniel Bacon, because I'm a descendant of Sarah Bacon and Samuel Bug. That's my grandma's longest ancestor, okay, because I was chasing the ancestry last year. The truth of the matter is, when they made that class system and got ready to stop the white insurgents being friends with the slaves, they gave them the slave roles, the patrol roles, and all that. They later on said they didn't want to get couldn't married because they was afraid that some that with one drop of black blood looking like them and let the slaves go free. So when they made this one drop rule, it was not about black pride and staying. It was about staying in your place that the white man put you in, and he can rape a black woman. So when every child came out of that mixture, they could be a slave to him. So every time someone brings up the one drop rule, I look at them as faithful slaves who love massa. They hate being oppressed, but they're gonna remain in oppression and try to use that collective trash, aka crash and barrel mode on me. Because I feel like this was Harriet Tubman on Plantation ready to get me out. I'm going to go with Harriet Tubman. If you want me to treat like a trash, don't you dare go back. You know what I'm saying? Next time we'll kill you, go back to our master. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to not go with us, we're not going to cry, bye. But you're going to tell our master because you feel that because we have a dry black blood, we all should be on the plantation. That's how I look at it, putting that type of metaphor. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us are not pure black, and we're claiming to be pure black because two things. When the NAACP was founded, there were some white founders. They were not the only ones. So stop making argument. Only white people found the NAACP. It was mixed race people and part black, pure black people who were former slaves or descended from former slaves who founded the NAACP. Okay, and the other boys was fighting for us, trying to make everything right. Even though him and what's his name, Booker T. Washington debate against one another. But then when they had Marcus Garvey, see, Marcus Garvey was not from the United States. Marcus Garvey was from Jamaica, and in Jamaica, that's why they got colorism to this day. Just when people bleaching their skin. In Jamaica, if you're lighter skin like Sean Paul look, and if you're white, or if you're a free person of color with money, you would consider white. And when he was in school as a dark-skinned man with Irish mixture, because I found out that Garvey had Irish in him, his white friends betrayed him, and it was racist stuff that was going on. And so when the English, even after they no longer had control of the Caribbean, they had some type of way of control the island of Jamaica. So there were Bob Marley, that is white. Folks didn't know that. Yeah, Bob Marley, the reggae singer, that is white. So when he came to the United States, he shocked us all the racism here. The stupid thing is to thank the Ku Klux Klan for racism, for AKA Jim Crow. The people being lynched because they wanted African American people gone. They wanted to have no freedom, and the Jim Crow was made so you be social segregated from society, so you can be in economic default. Every time I hear someone they should go back to segregation, I like, well, either you can get out the country or go back to Africa. Since you don't claim your mixed heritage, you want to be all black, go back to Africa. And I see a lot of folks not doing that. Okay, because I feel like this, you're going to segregate, at least give me some money, some benefits, some resources to segregate with. Don't tell me to segregate, and in the end of the day, I get the resources. Hello. And including economic resources. I ain't trying to live off somebody else's wealth, and then I have no freedom. So the truth of the matter is the so-called wealth, if they live in poverty and trying to control my behind. So the truth of the matter is, I'm an individual person. Why? Why a lot of people don't understand this? He made the one drop rule to be look as good. I'm talking about Garvey. The same guy that had a meeting with the Ku Klux Klan on June 25th, 1922, and thanked them for segregation. See, folks was talking about going back to Africa, but a lot of folks would tell you who read about this man. They not once this man went to Africa. Not once he had led the people in his organization, United Negro Empire, whatever it's called, movement. They never went to Africa. He took that money and stayed in the United States, the wealthy part, white wealthy part of the United States, England, and Canada. Oh yes, it was a money game. See, a lot of folks get mad at me my bashing because it wasn't no back in slavery. When a person tried to tell you something, tell you what to do, it was a dog whistle to stay in your place and be safe, or else something's going to happen to you. So that's why. So when people get mad at me and yell, they understand slave masters use a tactic to keep you in your place, okay? And they will try to thump the Bible, but be totally against the Bible way how they act. Birds same feather fly together, but also too, you can't pick a smile on one eye and one wing yours. But that's the reason why nobody corrected me. So a lot of folks understand that people was, when they said they were not black and they were mixed or whatever, a lot of folks would be intimidating. This got real deep when he had the Nation Islam. See, folks don't know Wallace Fard, who also was influenced by Garvey, was either Arabian or mulatto that looked like a white man with dark hair, but compared to a dark skin, light skin Mexican or Asian, as they say. See, Wallace Fard, I gotta read about his biography, I have it here, was not for the people. I'm called like it is. And when he met Elijah Poole Muhammad, Elijah, who was a preacher's son who read the Bible in his own interpretation, thought that Wallace Fard was Allah, which is God in Arabic. And a lot of the Muslims, to a truth, would tell you that they don't believe, like we Christians believe that Jesus is God, whether you Catholic or Protestant. A lot of us that believe that, okay, the Muslims feel that no man can be God, they can be a prophet. So, but Allah means God in Arabic, and this man thinks it's Allah, so it's Allah. Yeah, okay. So he skilled Elijah Muhammad, and then, and they made this Nation Islam. And many folks not know the way they would come at you was, I'm your friend, nice, and like they did with Malcolm X, and then try to attack you. Anyone knows me, anyone who tried the intimidation, bully attack at me, is about to get yelled at and mistreated to the point you might have a heart attack. Get the hell out of my face. I don't do my own family. I do my own family that way. I don't let them do that at me. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to give me disrespect to get out of my face. So what happened is, when they found Malcolm X, the same guy that told him to relax his head when was intimidating him in the prison, the same guy tried to get him killed. I'm glad that Spike Lee saw it in the movie. He was a prominent figure in when he left the prison system and became part of Nation Islam. And many things read by a lot of folks who are not Christian or African American community, whether Protestant or Catholic, because Muslims come to churches and start harassing you. Muslims from the Nation Islam, not other Muslims, and telling you that the white Jesus is not going to, Jesus is not white. It's not going to help you. Blah blah blah. They try to intimidate you, and they would later on join. So this intimidation tactic comes back in, like I say, slavery, because in order to make a slave do right, like white people in the South would do, would intimidate you, yell at you, berate you, and they think because they came from the Protestant fundamentalist belief system, where they thought that that's not a Christian. When actually we read the Gospels of Jesus, and he talked about the number of the king of Gentiles that law over, be merciful as your father is in Luke 6. I mean, I ain't perfect, but I read about this. I look at it and laugh, and they talk about they doing it for love. Love, and even St. Paul said love is not critical. Don't brew over injury in 13 Corinthians, and even he said in 2 Timothy, he told Timothy in the 2 Timothy chapter 2, 24, 26, that the slave law supposed to correct in kindness. And then even the prophets 9 tell you not to correct anybody, 7, 9, not to correct anybody who don't want to be corrected. That's many. Even St. Peter told the elders, aka the priests in the New Testament, in his his fifth letter in his first chapter, the 1 and 3 tell you not the law over to be examples of flock. So if these not no Christian behavior, these people they're doing with their property in Ezekiel 34. Okay, we mean the people, and God was upset about that. See, I know about these old bullying and law and over tactics. That's how they act. So if you come from a church that believe in it, talking about back in those days, and someone who's trying to preach, they mix the Bible with the Quran, your own interpretation, you're going to fall down. That's why, folks, I see why I'm glad I'm not from the old school, because look what happened, no offense to anybody, look what happened in Jamestown. With Jim Jones, he did the same doggone thing. That's how he got it. So why nobody couldn't leave their area when he wanted to drink their poison Kool-Aid. If they wouldn't into you, they took it as a question back in those days, because my grandparents raised me. But then St. Paul told that that's not the taste everything whole was good, the skern. Okay, hello. So, a lot of folks don't understand that. So, really, yeah. So, back in the 60s and 70s, that's how Martin King was trying to not be a nationalist, but try to sound like one, saying, because they was telling people in the civil rights movement that y'all are Uncle Toms, you in the integrated white society, you a sellout, blah, blah, this, and you coons, when actually, we did not just say that Marcus Garvey had a meeting with the Klan in June 25th, 1922. Let's not be known that H.L. Hunt funded the Nation of Islam. The same white billionaire in Texas who had connection with the Klan, and also had connections of kidnapping people. Especially he killed J.F. Kennedy when he came here to Texas. Actually, not Houston, in Houston, in Dallas, in the 60s. Remember, John F. Kennedy was the first Irish, but also first Catholic, not Protestant, to be president. And a lot of folks know before Michelle Obama. Jacqueline Kennedy, just like Michelle Obama, but Michelle looks more African, so not look pure. She's milk chocolate, not dark chocolate. It means a white too, and I think that's Native American as well. But also, Jacqueline Kennedy don't look all that white. She look white enough. She had dark hair, dark African blonde, blood, as what the Aryan nation would say. But she has African in her too, and she told the New York Geology back in the 60s and said that it was her Jewish background, when actually it was an African background. Then Sally said one of her ancestors who was mixed, something like that. Yeah, I saw on PBS, Frontline, Secret Daughter, about the famous mixed families, whatever. Okay, point is, yeah, Lachlan and all that. Pico, the last Mexican governor who's Afro Mestizo, they had him on there too. Okay, I keep with all that stuff. So that's probably why he got killed, besides him being Catholic, not being Protestant, and also being married to a multiracial woman who can pass for white, and her being the first lady. Yep, her being the first lady to have African roots way before with Michelle Obama. And then I'll never forget, during Obama's campaign almost 10 years ago, they was comparing her to Jacqueline Kennedy, and I kept telling people, I said, excuse me, do you know the reason why they kept comparing Michelle Obama to Jacqueline Kennedy, the dress she was wearing and all that? Because they know that Jacqueline Kennedy was part black. That's why. I knew that, because I read about multiracial heritage, okay? Alright, so let's get to something. Turn that chicken cooking in the oven. Alright, so why I'm bringing all that stuff, I know that Zach is talking so much long-winded. Why he bringing this about Waka fame? Well, it ties to this. Then I said that, backtrack what I said, that Tim Nation protected. One job rule was made to put people on a plantation, right? First started out as whoever the mother of the child, if they're a slave too. And then later on the condition of the mother. Then later on became one job rule. They had their own version of one rule in the before slavery in 1920, they changed the census that in all the places have a one drop rule because they used to have people put as mulatto and all that other stuff. The truth of the matter is, a lot of folks do not know that this ideology caused a lot of headache and identity issues in our community. Because we know we're African descent, but we're not 100%. We don't know what tribe that we came from because of the tribe that enslaved our African ancestors, gave them to our white ancestors later on. And then that's how white people mixed in, and whether it was rape or somebody married them, it was indentured service, a slave, or a free person of color married, whatever, a white person, whatever. Then you had people named American who mixed with black as well. And white people, when say segregation moment, wanted to make that one drop rule to be acknowledged from the African American population, and people try to be collective, think that everybody that got one drop is their friend, whether they dog, like whatever. When actually, I tell you the truth, no, they ain't. Actions speak louder than words. Someone acting funny with me, mistreat me, that's not a friend. They can't play two sides of the coin. That Dr. Jacob is a high place. The behavior is not play. No, I don't play that mess. So. Then I also mentioned about the two movements, the Garvinists, the Black National Movement, that was also supported by the Klan undercover, okay, to keep the races separate, and also they did the same thing with the Nation Islam that was paid by a white being there here in Texas. So that's why I partially agree with Waka Hall of Fame. See, we're not full-blown Africans, we're mixed. The only problem is I have a Waka Hall of Fame is denying the African, aka Negro or Sub-Saharan African, whatever you want to call it, DNA. Because that's also part of him too, because he does have a wide nose and kinky hair. He's light skinned, but he has African features as well. So it'd be nice, and this is I can't tell a person what I believe in. It'd be nice to say that you are a mixed American. Okay, a multiracial American. You're not a full-blown African. It'd be nice to say that compared to saying that you are only Native American. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't say I'm pure black. And then people say that's a black man because we've been brainwashed with the one drop mess. But technically, I am African American, French, Spanish, Creole, Irish, English, Native American. That's how I got here. I'm not full blown. Okay? And we are able, and to those who want to defend the one drop rule, the one drop rule was not made up for us. It was made to help the white racist people. And I don't know why y'all tell me all the time white people don't pull you over a cop. I know that. Let's acknowledge that, but not let it define us. Okay? I mean, I hate to use us because people are individuals. But you got people who are uneducated and they want to bash me with their uneducation. Okay? So the truth about it is a lot of us are mixed race people. We're not full-blown African people. We're mixed. It's called like it is. We're a multiracial people. We're black and native and white. And I think that if we would start saying that, it'd make a lot of difference. If we separate from white racist people who say they have black, aka black friends, or they're straight up Klansmen like Trump, then we separate from them individually. I ain't saying every white person, because not every white person do agree with the one drop rule or but have any their blood quantum or any other mess, okay? Because before I close, blood quantum was used when they had the toothpicks and in the American. A lot of folks didn't know the reason why they was invented because white people was upset that allowed Native Americans to marry white people. Besides it was rape, it was also mixing. So stop them from mixing is that we'll give you Native Americans some money and some benefits, but you gotta stop marrying a white person. If your kids keep marrying a white person, we're going to stop them being Native American. They will no longer get any benefits. That's why you have a lot of white people besides a $5 Indian situation. You have a lot of white people who are part Native American and don't know what tribe or how to trace whatever because of that mess. Also, too, there was a fake Native American thing called the $5 Indian. See, back in the day when they had the Trail of Tears. In the Trail of Tears, when the African, mixed race Africans, Native American people, and the Native Americans were kicked out their lands in the South, here in the South, and sort of go to the Indian Territory. There was Dar Rose. Dar Rose was trying to find out who had more who had Native American roots in there, to get benefits. Well, they found out that some partially black people who are mixed with them would get some benefits. So to stop that situation, they had this $5 Indian, and the $5 Indian meant that if you pay white people $5 on the table and say, well, you claim to be Native American, we'll make sure the Negroes who are part Negro don't get nothing. That's why I get offended. So when I heard about when Henry Gates Jr. found out that the DNA tests do not always get everything out. I've been saying it for a long period of time. People still ignorant, hold on to what they think is. So, truth of the matter is that DNA companies need to reveal itself. Stop trying to make money, lie, and then you go another DNA test and it's totally different. Truth of the matter is we are a combination of three. This is our land, and a lot of white people don't know. That's one thing I say, that this is our land. Not because the Africans crossed over from the African part of Africa and went to Mexico and Central America, so when the continents connected. This is our land because many of us are mixed with three races. We have three homelands to go to. Here, Africa, and Europe. White people who are racist only got one land to go to. Now, if they fully white, yes. If they not, then they confused and they don't want to have identity crisis. Hold on to white identity that's not pure in order to get some privilege. So that makes a lot of sense. I hope y'all understand why I partially agree with Waka. I think Waka needs to re-examine himself and do family research on his ancestry and find out where he came from. And I don't mean just the black part or the native or the European, all of it. Because when I remember I put all the ancestors, I put all the ancestors, the white part, due to the fact they didn't cover Native American and African ancestry in Anglo states. Because I heard in Louisiana, the Catholic Church kept records. But in England, they had bar girl on the plantation. That's how they did, okay? But in the Americans, they would not consider native. I mean, would not consider citizens to 1920, 1940, as I heard. So that's why. So when you marry an American person, marry a white person, so they'll put white or mulatto, or they'll put if they're married to a black person, black or mulatto, and then or that's what they do, or white, or they do this paper genocide. That a lot of Native Americans understand they get mad when someone said that they mix with Native American and look all that native, but then you're defending paper genocide and also the genocide to Native American people, because that's why that the Native Americans who claim to be Native American 100% are the minority in our country because I share Native American roots, and that's sad because misclassification based on denied multiracial answer to 2000 when it allows us to check more than one box. Okay, and one drop rules don't longer allow y'all. Ever since Love vs. Virginia case 50 years ago, when part black Native American woman, Mildred Loving, married a white man. Did you know that white man, the Native American, black Native American woman and that white man trial and whatever the case won, and they said that one drop rule is no longer a law. It's unconstitutional. It's just that people didn't tell folks that. Okay? That's all I can say. Alright, y'all. It's tired. Alright, bye, y'all. Have a nice day.